Hello, Judith.
Hi, Sylvie.
I'm so happy you spent time with me and
I
to have
am-
a small interview.
I am very happy to be here and to share with you whatever I can.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy to hear about your academy
Yeah.
and that it's an affiliated academy with NLP University. So
Absolutely.
it makes my heart feel so big to know that the affiliated folks are out in the world and carrying on a spirit that they feel is valuable in the world. Yeah,
Absolutely. And it's really the NLPU field that we expand all over the world, and it's really important for me.
Me too. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
And I would like to spend a little moment with you, and I would be happy if you explain with your words what does that mean, the third generation or the systemic aspects in NLP and generative. So it's like really we know what NLP is, but then what is that?
Well, when I think about what the third generation is, I kind of talk about it as a third description.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think about it in reference to the other generations or the other descriptions. So I go, one generation sort of creates the next generation, and that generation gets the next one. And in that first generation of NLP, the focus of attention was really on the cognitive mind, and it was really about representational systems, seeing and hearing and feeling, and how I create my world in terms of those representations and submodalities. In that part of the world, strategies, that part of my inner world. Mm-hmm. And then in that second generation, it was like, or the second description, it was as if attention shifted, and we were starting to look at relationship, what's happening between myself and another human being, and kind of developing the ideas of the perceptual positions more,
and it's a more systemical dimension.
And it has a little bit more of the systemic dimension. But what was interesting is in first generation, in the meta model, we have the distinctions linguistically.
Yeah.
But then only in the second generation do we really start to bring the body to that. So it's like referential index in the first generation. Who specifically is doing what, and then what happens when you shift those. That's like second position, but it was a verbal thing. And second generation was like bringing the body to it, which is more systemic, and also the relational space. The third generation, which is so special to me, and I feel blessed that I have been able to be a part of each generation. The third generation for me is beautiful for several reasons. One is it's an energetic description. It's it's describing kind of from a position of energy, because we are energetic beings, and we produce energy, and we eat food to make energy, and so that was really interesting for me. And the other thing is that it starts to open up even into the bigger system, So it's not just what's happening here or it's what's happening in this larger field. That could be the field of the family. That could be the field of a training room, right? What people bring into a training room, and what kind of energetic space they make through their connections with each other. It also has to do with the idea of going, look, two minds they say two heads are better than one, right? And so in that field, it's like, this is the other mind.
Yeah.
So,
And that gives also a dimension of generative, because 1 + 1 is more than 2. And
exactly.
Then you start to have really far more than what we can just me apart or you apart or we together.
I mean, I think I love the way Robert says it, where you have hydrogen and you have oxygen, and they're both gases, and you can't see them, but when they come together they make water. Absolutely. Which is a whole nother element. And that's exactly how I think about the generative aspects of the third generation. Is we come together with ideas, but there are ideas that come out of the space in between that we would never have by ourselves.
Absolutely.
And the quality of that connection creates the opportunity to generate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also.
And that's why I love your spiral so much.
I like that too. And it's like when I give training, I connect myself to the NLPU field and to you, and it's like it goes from the flow. And
I'm
really
so
love
happy. I'm so happy for that.
We're still connected.
That's good. That's good. And I think too, when you were explaining to me earlier about the spiral, going, where does the change begin? And it comes out of our source and that center place, that we talk about in this third sort of description or generation of NLP. And I always called it in, even 20 years ago, when I would say it's about the source, not the resource. Resource means to refine our source. And that's the coming home for people, I think, is, coming back to the source.
Where you get the resource.
Exactly. And from there, you generate all kinds of, inner possibilities. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As you say, they spiral right out of there and go into the world and make a difference. Yeah. Very
We
cool.
can all make a difference.
We can all make a difference, yeah.
Thank you so much, Judith. It
Oh,
was a pleasure.
it's my pleasure. I could stay here and talk to you forever.
Thank you.